Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you my Saturday night's main event predictions this upcoming Saturday. Now, real quick before we get into the predictions, I just want to announce that what I've heard, this is only going to be a 2-hour show, so one of these matches is going to be cut short. There's not going to be a lot of surprise returns. It's just going to be like get down to business match so they can fill in the 2 hours. But either way, we're going to find a way to make this video entertaining for you guys, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to leave a like in this video, and like I said last video, we're on the road to 600 subscribers. Please help me get there by the end of the new year. It's a goal of mine. So without further ado, let's get straight into the predictions. Cue the intro. Alright, to start off, I want to get into the Women's United States Championship Finals match. First, I'm going to be predicting who I think is going to be in the match, who I think will win each match this upcoming Friday. And my two finalist predictions for this match is Chelsea Green versus Mia Yim. I know we already got it between these two, but like these two just fit the narrative for the mid-card championship. Like, these two are the queens of the mid-card for the women's SmackDown division. My ultimate outcome of the match is I think Chelsea Green will finally get her moment. She will win the first ever Women's United States Championship. I mean, like, it's time. She didn't get her Money in the Bank. Like, it's time for her to finally get her moment. It's time for her to finally get a title. She's been back for, what, is a year and a half now, and she's basically done nothing. Like, it's time for her to finally do something. I think Chelsea Green will be your inaugural Women's United States Champion. Just throwing it out there. Alright, the next match we're going to predict is the singles match between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. And something tells me that there's going to be a lot of shenanigans in this match. Going back to what I said about like it being 2 hours, like one of the shows is going to be cut short and no other show, like no other match is going to be more cut down than this one. Like, we know Drew McIntyre, we know these two, we know Drew McIntyre's character. Like, you know he's going to be involved in some shenanigans. So, overall, this is my prediction. I don't think there's going to be a match. I think Drew McIntyre is going to eventually attack Sami Zayn before the match. He's going to beat him up. Jey Uso is going to come out, save Sami Zayn. Drew McIntyre is going to drop them both and stand tall. Like, overall, what I said about Shinsuke Nakamura, I mean, like, he has to stand tall at the end, win or lose. Like, he needs to stand tall. Maybe if he loses, he needs to attack Sami, stand tall. Like, he needs to look like a dangerous threat. If he just comes back after losing his feud with CM Punk and just immediately loses his first match back, then, like, he's done. He's basically done. I am going to call these two will be in the Royal Rumble, and they're going to have a big moment with Drew McIntyre eventually eliminating Sami Zayn. These two are probably going to make it far. Drew McIntyre most likely going to be in the top 5, but these two have big futures. I'm calling it now. Alright, next up, let's talk about Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. I think that this is sneakily going to be the best match of the night. I'm not kidding. This has the opportunity to either bang or it has the opportunity to be really, really bad. And there's no in between. But ultimately, I mean, I would have Liv Morgan losing the title if it was Rhea Ripley, but I just don't see it losing right. Just don't see her losing right now. I feel like there's so much more she needs. I feel like there's just so much more to be done with her title reign. I don't think she's dropping it until WrestleMania, not even lying. Plus, we all know that Raquel Rodriguez is going to have a lot to do with it. So here's my big prediction. I think Liv Morgan, after a nice lengthy match, Liv Morgan is going to eventually win due to Raquel Rodriguez. They're going to be up on Io, but then ultimately Rhea Ripley will come out, and then this story between them, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan and Raquel, will continue. Like I said, I just think the end-all be-all, like, the end game is gonna be, you know, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, where Rhea Ripley finally captures the title back from Liv Morgan that she feels she never lost. And I feel like that is an ultimate cinema end game for these two. Alright, now let's talk about the triple threat match between Gunther, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest. Not gonna lie, it kind of seems like Gunther's just a third wheel in this, because we already know that Damian and Finn Balor do have beef, so I mean, like, it's It's just like, why is Gunther in here? Simply for no other reason than to just put him on the show. They should have just done Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. But even I'm bored of that because, like, Damian Priest beat Finn Balor. He made him look like absolute, like, he made him look weak. So, like, there's nothing left for this Finn Balor and Damian Priest story other than the fact that there's a world title involved. There's just no way that Gunther's losing here. I mean, like, you could basically count on this being the typical triple threat match where two guys are going to be so pissed off each other, they're going to cost each other the fight, and then that's going to ultimately, you know, open up the door for Gunther to win the match. And I think that's exactly, like, they're setting everything, literally everything up for that to happen. And I feel like Gunther needs to pin Damian Priest. Like, there's still some meat left on the bone for Finn Balor versus Gunther. And, like, ultimately, the deciding factor of this will be Dominic Mysterio. Where does he get involved? I mean, like, he has beef with Priest, he has beef with Finn now, and he has beef with Gunther. Like, he has beef with all three of these guys, and ultimately, he's going to be the deciding factor. And I think he is going to dictate whether Gunther wins or not. And I think he's going to eventually turn on Finn, and Gunther is going to, and that's going to open up the door for Gunther to win. Ultimately, and plus, I mean, there's just still so much for Gunther to do. Like, I would have him lose if he was facing, like, maybe Seth Rollins or CM Punk in the triple threat, but, like, neither of these two need it right now. And finally, now we can talk about the main event, and the moment you've all been waiting for. It is Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. One real quick thing I want to get out of the way. I don't think there's going to be any shenanigans in this match. I think it's just going to be one simple, clean match from bell to bell to see who is the better man. And ultimately, that is going to be Cody Rhodes. He is going to be the better man coming out of this match. I mean, there's just, much like Gunther, there's just still so much more for Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes to do. Like, Kevin Owens, I mean, he needs to focus on bigger and better things than just a title. Like, I want him to get to actual blood feuds, like one with him versus Randy Orton. That's going to be the end-all, be-all. And then ultimately, Cody Rhodes, again, like, there's still so much left for him to do. There's still bigger and better opponents for him to face than Kevin Owens, such as The Rock, maybe a rematch with Solo, maybe a third match with Roman. Like, there's still just so much left for him to do. And ultimately, we all know the end game between these two is going to be, like, Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes at Mania when Randy eventually wins the Rumble after eliminating Kevin Owens. But ultimately, I think that The Rock, after the match, after Cody wins, I think The Rock will return. He'll make a surprise appearance. He's going to stare down Cody Rhodes. He's going to let everybody know that this is who he's back for. He's back for blood. He's back for Cody Rhodes. I would not be surprised if these two face at the Royal Rumble sooner or later. I also think that he's going to reveal that he was the one behind the new bloodline. He was the one that told Solo to take over. Because, again, the end game at Mania is going to be Roman versus The Rock. But, I mean, just, Cody, it's going to be him and Cody first things first. Then we'll get to that at WrestleMania. But, overall, just, The Rock's going to make a special appearance, and it's going to be, you know, electrifying. Alright guys, that is going to do it for my Saturday night's main event predictions. I hope you all had fun with this, and if you did, please make sure to leave a like on the video and make sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 600 subscribers. Hopefully we'll get to that by the end of the year. So without further ado, I'm not going to waste y'all time any longer. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.